If you thought Hamilton would need time to adapt to Ferrari, you might need to rethink that. The 7-time world champion has already tested the SF25 at Fiorano and left convinced that this could be the car to deliver his 8th title. But what if I told you that this confidence could actually be a problem for Ferrari? After his first official test with Ferrari, Hamilton didn't hide his excitement. Just like Leclerc, he praised the SF25's stability, power delivery, and rear grip. "I made the right move at the right time." If Hamilton is saying that, he must see something special in Ferrari's car. But does this mean Red Bull and Verstappen are worried? Not exactly. But do you know who might be? Charles Leclerc. If history has taught us anything in F1, it's that two highly competitive drivers in the same team can be a problem. Fernando Alonso versus Lewis Hamilton, 2007 McLaren. A disastrous internal rivalry that destabilized the team and gifted Kimi Räikkönen the title. Sebastian Vettel versus Charles Leclerc, 2019 Ferrari. The young rising star challenging a 4-time champion, leading to on-track collisions and internal conflict. Hamilton versus Rosberg, 2016 Mercedes. One of the most intense intra-team battles in F1 history, nearly breaking Mercedes apart. If Ferrari really has a championship-caliber car, how will they manage the inevitable tension between Hamilton and Leclerc? And more importantly, will Ferrari allow their drivers to fight freely, or will they pick a favorite early on? If Hamilton is faster in the opening races, will Ferrari have the guts to turn their back on Leclerc? If the answer is yes, Leclerc could feel betrayed. If the answer is no, Hamilton might become frustrated, which could damage team morale. Is Ferrari walking into a scenario that has already played out before? Everyone is focusing on a potential Hamilton versus Verstappen showdown, but what if the real battle is inside Ferrari? Leclerc has been with Ferrari since 2019, has a strong relationship with the engineers, and knows the team inside out. If he starts the season stronger than Hamilton, he won't be easy to dethrone as Ferrari's leading driver. And here's an even bigger question. If the SF25 is fast, will Ferrari allow both drivers to fight, or will they interfere? Back in 2022, Ferrari was indecisive in making clear strategy calls, which cost them multiple race wins. Now, with two elite-level drivers in the same car, is the team really prepared to handle the pressure? Or could internal rivalry at Ferrari end up benefiting Verstappen, just like McLaren's Alonso versus Hamilton battle did in 2007? The Fiorano lap times were impressive, but we still don't know how the SF25 stacks up against Red Bull and McLaren. The true test will come in Bahrain, where Ferrari will finally go head-to-head against their biggest rivals under race conditions. If the rumored 0.4 seconds per lap improvement is real, Ferrari could be in the fight. But if the car still has hidden weaknesses, all this optimism could fade quickly. So the big question remains, is Ferrari truly ready to fight for the title? Or is this just another false dawn? Imagine waking up to the news that the greatest living legend in Formula One has decided to switch teams without warning. Not even his teammates saw it coming. That's exactly what happened to George Russell, who only found out through the media that Lewis Hamilton was heading to Ferrari. But what if this move isn't what it seems? What if, in the end, Hamilton is betting everything on an illusion? Let's break down the behind-the-scenes story of this shocking decision and its impact on F1 in the coming years. In F1, big moves usually leak before they happen. There are always rumors, journalists digging for clues, whispers in the paddock, but this time, nobody saw it coming. Hamilton simply walked into Toto Wolff's office and announced he was leaving Mercedes. And the most surprising part? George Russell had no idea, no leaks, no hints. It was a total shock across the paddock. Toto Wolff admitted that Hamilton's contract had an option for departure, but no one at Mercedes expected him to leave so soon. Now the big question is, why did Hamilton choose to leave? And did he make the right call? Hamilton built his legacy at Mercedes. He won 6 titles, dominated the sport for years, and shaped the team's identity. So why leave now? The answer lies in motivation, legacy, and perhaps one final career-defining challenge. Mercedes has lost performance. Since 2022, Red Bull has taken over, and Mercedes can no longer provide a title-winning car. Hamilton doesn't just want to race, he wants to win. And maybe he sees Ferrari as his best shot at securing an 8th world title. Ferrari's name is legendary. Senna dreamed of racing in red. Schumacher built a dynasty there. Now Hamilton could end his career at the most iconic team in F1 history. But what if he's betting on the wrong team? Ferrari has promised a competitive car for 2025. But how many times have we heard that before? If the team fails to deliver, Hamilton could end up without victories and without that historic final title. And if that happens, will he regret leaving Mercedes? Now that Hamilton has gone, George Russell steps up as Mercedes' new leader. But the big question is he ready? Russell joined Mercedes as a promising young driver, but replacing Hamilton is a whole different challenge. Now he must be the team's main voice in car development, take charge of strategic decisions both on and off the track, handle the pressure of being Mercedes' new #1 driver, and he won't be doing it alone. His new teammate will be Kimi Antonelli, a young talent directly promoted to Mercedes. This means Russell won't have an experienced rival, but rather a future F1 star growing alongside him. Will he mentor Antonelli, or could we see a tense internal battle similar to Hamilton versus Rosberg? Kimi Antonelli is considered one of the greatest prospects of the new generation. But talent alone isn't enough. Driving for Mercedes means dealing with constant comparisons to legends like Hamilton and Schumacher. Antonelli will need to learn quickly, and if he doesn't deliver results early on, criticism will come fast. Now imagine this scenario. What if Antonelli shocks everyone and outperforms Russell from the start? That could create a major internal conflict at Mercedes. Would Toto Wolff stick with Russell as the team leader, or shift focus to his young rising star? Hamilton's move isn't just about changing teams, it could reshape Formula One for years to come. Could Ferrari finally challenge Red Bull? With Hamilton and Leclerc together, the Scuderia could become the biggest threat to Verstappen's dominance. Will Mercedes go into decline or thrive under Russell and Antonelli? Without Hamilton, the team could take very different paths. Will this force other teams to react? Could Red Bull, McLaren, and Aston Martin change their driver lineups to stay competitive? If Ferrari truly builds a winning car, 2025 could be one of the most exciting seasons in F1 history. But if Hamilton has made the wrong move and Mercedes returns to the top without him, what then? Subscribe to Formula One News for all the latest updates on this new era in F1. Max Verstappen has just launched a brutal attack on the current generation of F1 cars, saying they are not fun to drive. But is he just being nostalgic, or does he have a point? Are modern F1 cars ruining the racing experience for drivers and fans? Click on the next video now and find out why Verstappen is so frustrated with today's F1 machines.